Okay, thank you all that have joined us here in council chambers, as well as those that are joining us from home this evening. This is a meeting of the Poquoson City Council from Monday, April 25th, 2016. If you'd all please rise, I'll lead you in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for the many blessings we have received in our city. We ask tonight for a special blessing on the family of Senator John Miller, a friend of Poquoson who recently passed. May we always remember what he did for our city. We ask also for your blessing on those who serve our military this evening in foreign lands, as well as those who operate in the public safety environment. For those people who put their lives on the lines to save the rest of us, please bless them and their families as they proceed in their duties, and for those that watch the children at home during the evening. We pray all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, for anybody who's looked at the agenda for the Poquoson City Council this night, you know that one of the things that we're going to be doing is holding a public hearing on our budget process. What I wanted to do before we start that is to recognize something that we've received many years in the past and continue to do so. And I'd ask Teresa if you'd come up here and receive this award for the city. And this is both twofold this year, and I really appreciate this letter as well. This is a certificate of achievement for excellence in financial reporting. This is, ever since I've been on council here, this has been something that the city of Poquoson has received. And I'll be quite honest with you, not every city receives this. What this basically tells us is that the budget process, the numbers that we look at on a daily basis, are that we have faith in them, that we believe them, and that we can make good decisions based on that and based on the processes that we do. But we've also received a letter from our U.S. Senator, Mark Warner, basically recognizing the very same thing. And that is that Mark, if many of you have met him, also ran a business before. And I think he points out some good words here when he says, "This honor recognizes that your city's commitment to preparing budget documents of the highest quality has made a lasting impact on the community. As a former chief executive officer of a business, former governor of Virginia and United States Senator, I know there is a smart way to create budgets and that sensible plans strengthen our economy and create jobs. You are commended for enacting budget guidelines established by the GFAO and best practices. And I know your city's hard work will inspire others to implement the same practices that have enabled you to reach this achievement." I present both of these to our budget director, and I appreciate the hard work that you and all the department heads that are here do. And would you like to speak at all? Or are you going to quietly take your, yes, I did another great job?
No, I'm not going to take it. I did a great job. Everybody does a great job.
Thank you.
And it starts with council.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda this evening is an audience for visitors. I will tell you if there's a public hearing that you're here to speak on, and those two public hearings are a conditional use permit on With Creek Road and then the actual budget itself, to wait to forward those comments until that time. But is there anybody who would like to address council on an issue that's not on the agenda this evening? Okay, seeing none, I'll close that audience for visitors and ask council for approval of the minutes.
Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes of our regular meeting of April the 11th, 2016.
Second. Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April 11th.
Judy, please.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Vernal.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, thank you very much. And now the public hearings. The first public hearing that we have this evening is discussion of a conditional use permit for an escape room and family entertainment use at 475 With Creek Road, which is also within the bounds of a shopping center. Is that correct?
At the Taylor's
Just
Do It Center Shopping
at the
Center.
Taylor's Do It All Shopping Center. So is there going to be a staff presentation?
Yes, sir. Mr.
Okay.
Wine will present for staff. And finally, the screen goes dark. Is it about to go back up? We couldn't shut it off.
Hopefully we can get it straight.
All right. Kevin?
All right. Well, it looks like we may be without the laptop tonight.
There you go. Something?
Yeah, the plugs are.
It could have been the mayor was standing there and unplugged it.
Kevin, if you don't get it up in 30 seconds, go without it.
All right, so
That's
we'll
what we
do
provide
without it. My
hard copies.
apologies.
We all have a hard copy of your presentation. so
All
go ahead.
right. I'll go off that. I've got a hard
Looks
copy
like you're
too.
coming on.
Actually, I left it in the chair. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of City Council. We've received a conditional use permit request for 475 With Creek Road. This is one of the more visible properties in the city. It's With Creek Plaza, home to Taylor's Do It Center. In fact, that's the anchor, formerly served its past life as the food line in the city. It's a nice little mix of retail, business service, and restaurant uses. It's zoned B2 and is located at the intersection of Victory Boulevard and With Creek Road. It actually kind of wraps around the Wells Fargo property, so it does have frontage on Victory, a small amount of frontage on Victory. Most of its frontage is actually on With Creek Road. As I mentioned, it's zoned B2. That's our business commercial district, essentially our With Creek Road business corridor. And we are considering this request, or you all are considering this request this evening for an escape room game use. It's a fairly new phenomenon, really, over the last 2 years. It's blown up in popularity. Over the last year, we started to see them in the region, all on the south side so far. This would be actually the first one between Richmond and Virginia Beach. And an escape room, and we weren't able to classify it within our zoning ordinance. So looking at this evening as a use that's not specifically permitted by right in the B2. For instance, bowling alleys are permitted by right in the B2 district. Potentially more impactful than a use of this nature. However, arcades are not. It's kind of on that spectrum. So that's why we're requiring a conditional use permit for this use. An escape room is a physical adventure game in which participants are placed in a locked room, locked, doors just closed. Code wouldn't allow them to lock the door on patrons, with other players, typically 6 to 10. And they go in these rooms and they're presented with a series of puzzles or clues that will assist them in basically solving riddles and puzzles to be freed. Mr. Drummond, the owner of Tag Time LLC, is proposing 4 of these rooms in which the themes would be different for each room, and 6 to 8 players per room. The players are typically given a set limit to escape this case 1 hour. That's pretty much the industry standard. I have an array of pictures, but I'll skip right through those. Another key component to this is back in January of 2014, Mr. Drummond approached City Council to ask for a conditional use permit for a laser tag use on 20 acres that's northwest of this property, immediately northwest of this property. Over the last couple years, this laser tag field's not come to fruition, primarily because it's landlocked. There's no direct access. This would give him direct access because it lay immediately adjacent. Specifically, patrons who are participating in the laser tag use would meet here in the storefront that would house the escape game, and they would be transported safely onto the laser tag field, which is approximately 150 to 200 feet away. So in conclusion, the purpose of the B2 district, and I didn't mention this earlier, is to provide for a wide variety of commercial uses, industrial uses, and miscellaneous business uses. This would utilize a vacant storefront, and as such, its impacts would be fairly minimal. In its past life, most recently, it housed a children's consignment store, and it did so within the fabric of the shopping center and the community. These hours of operations would operate, would almost complement those of the existing businesses in the shopping center, primarily the restaurant uses, which there are several, 3 if I'm not mistaken. Because its primary hours of operation are after dinner time on the weeknights, and on the weekends, their softer times would be around lunch and around dinner, when the shopping center would be the busiest. Lastly, the utilization of the storefront would afford the business owner access to the laser tag field. This has been a big hurdle for the business owner. Last Monday, the Planning Commission held a public hearing on this item at their April 18th meeting and have recommended its approval to you all unanimously by a vote of 5-0. In doing so, they cited the uniqueness of the use and its ability to potentially attract residents outside of Poquoson to the city. If you all move to recommend approval or approve this use this evening, staff has compiled a list of 5 conditions. I will read them briefly. Most of them you've seen before, but the use must comply with all local, state, and federal regulations. The approved use shall be only for an escape room use and shall not be interpreted for any other use. If the proposed use changes to another form of a family amusement, the permit shall be evaluated by the zoning administrator, who will determine if the new use meets the intent of this use permit. Prior to any on-site expansion of the proposed use, the zoning administrator shall review the proposal to determine whether whether it should be reconsidered. 4, if at any time the specified permitted use on the property is discontinued for a period of 2 or more years, it shall become null and void. And lastly, City Council reserves the right to review and amend the conditions of this permit as they see fit. With that being said, that concludes my presentation. My apologies about technology, but I can answer any questions you may have.
Council, you have any questions?
I have just a couple. Okay. One of them is, I mean, this is unusual, at least for the city, okay? Unusual for the area, period, okay?
Yes, sir.
And it's interesting, okay? Looks like it might be a lot of fun, okay? However, a couple of questions I have are technical in nature. The people that are locked in a room playing these games and they're looking for cruises to escape, and I guess the people try to get out as quickly as they can. It's a competitive type thing, okay? But just in case of a medical emergency, is there a panic button or something in the room that they could automatically unlock the door? I get a head shaking that says yes.
Yes, there are mechanisms in place.
Okay, and then the other thing, in case of loss of power, do the rooms automatically unlock?
Well, it's important to note that the rooms are just in theory locked. The doors will actually be open.
Okay.
So you're escaping from a theoretical locked room.
Withdraw my question. Very good, thank you.
Other questions?
I
Yes,
just
Councilman Green.
have a comment, and it really doesn't relate to the escape room, but when that back area that they're planning on escorting the players in the laser tag area is a lot of times used for people taking a shortcut to get out to Wythe Creek Road. And it's also used by a lot of trucks making deliveries to Taylor's and the Mexican place. I'd just like to make a suggestion that they paint a crosswalk across that area so that anybody using that as a shortcut or any trucks going back there is aware of the fact that there will be people crossing that, because that would be something brand new to them.
As well as perhaps a stop sign.
Speed bump?
Or maybe
Pedestrian
one of the
crosswalk.
signs that says yield to pedestrians.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a wonderful suggestion, because there are a lot of blind spots in that alleyway back there, and it's conducive to speed, actually. So it's my understanding that the patrons will be escorted by employees of Mr. Drummond. So that'll be done in a very safe fashion. The distance is very short. Really just across the alleyway. The woods are right there outside their rear door, which is where that would originate.
There's a speed bump on both ends of that road, I believe.
Yes.
Good suggestion. Anything else, Council?
Okay, thanks, Kevin.
All right, thank you all.
Okay, I'd like to move forward and open the public hearing on this, and now's the time if you'd like to talk or give any comments to council on the conditional use permit for the escape room and family entertainment use at 475 Wythe Creek Road. Now is that time. Mr. Drummond.
Good evening. My name is Bradford Drummond. I live at 201 Hudgens Farm Drive in Yorktown. Hopefully my voice makes it through the night. The sinuses are getting me. We are happily the new owners of a nice chunk of the Big Woods now. And as you know, Tag Time Laser Tag's been trying for a couple years to do something back there in the Big Woods, and worked with CRES quite a bit on trying to get an entrance. When that fell apart, we were trying to figure out what could we do. And when the shopping center, we looked at the shopping center, saw a vacancy, talked to the property owners, the Coopers. They thought it was a good idea, looked at the logistics of could we make it work. And when you talk about accessing behind the building, we're very aware and want to make sure that we make that as safe as possible. Luckily, most of our business is evenings and weekends, so deliveries tend to be earlier. The other thing, we're going to be doing essentially hour sessions on the field. Another thing this helps is the bathroom issue that we were going to have on the property. Doing hour sessions on the field, we would have people in the storefront, escort them out. They would play for 45 to 50 minutes and then escort them back off. So we are planning to, like you said, mark everything and make sure that is well covered. The escape room idea, we were looking for something. We have extra square footage if we rent that storefront. What can we do with it? So the escape rooms are a new and exciting thing. Everybody asks about the doors, and the code in the States typically, overseas, they lock you in. You're done, you got to get out. The U.S., pretty much most localities will not let you lock people in a door, which is fun. That's okay. Like I said, and as Kevin said, most of the hours are evenings and weekends, so it should be complementary to the down times for the parking and for other things going on in the shopping center. Excuse me. Our long-term plan is to still look for a permanent entrance on the property. We just felt this was a very good starting point and to get us up and running and be able to work on that as we go. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if not, I'll close the public hearing and ask for consideration by council.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution approving a conditional use permit to operate escape room games at a storefront located in the Wolf Creek Shopping Center, Poquoson, tax map parcel number 21-01-00-0107A.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion made and seconded. I was lost on all those zeros, I'm sorry. But, Mr. Drummond, I think that entrance will work actually better for you than what we had all been thinking about. And, you know, I'm hoping that your business will be successful. I see absolutely no stopping. I'm sorry it's just taken us this long to get here, but we appreciate that. So with that, Judy, please.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Vernal.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you very much. The next item up for public hearing is the proposed 2016-2017 annual financial plan, tax levies and fees. I'll remind everybody that tonight is just the first reading. We will be moving towards final budget adoption at the next scheduled council meeting. There won't be a public hearing at that one. So tonight is your opportunity to give us your comments on this. We just had a work session with the department heads, with the schools, so we understand that. We also had a budget presentation last meeting. So Randy, is there a high-level summary that you would like to give the public for those that may not have caught up with the process?
Hadn't intended to. That was a very clever way to ask it, because if I don't want to, then I don't want to inform the.
Well, let me, you want me to?
I would know, I would be pleased to.
Okay, go right ahead.
And I'll do this off the top of my head.
That's good, because it's pretty good budget.
The budget before us is the second post-recessionary budget. Things are improving somewhat in terms of revenue growth. We've gone from almost non-existent to modest. That is an improvement, relatively speaking. We worked hard, as we always do, with the school system, try to balance their needs, the needs of the several departments and constitutional officers. We prepared a strategic priority framework, which was presented to you in the budget and in last time at your meeting, which essentially says we prioritized continuing our current mission as opposed to expanding it. We prioritized education and compensation for the schools, and the same for our own employees. We limited really new increases to the budget to just a handful of things. Those handful of things really relate to either continuing things we have been doing, like continuing the plan to increase by 1 average staffing for fire and rescue per shift, or continuing on our support for PAWS, or continuing on making continuous incremental increases in maintenance funding and things that we had cut out during the recessionary period. The short version is it funds the CIP as you adopted it in the current year. It provides the amount of funding to support the school system that is consistent with the superintendent and the school board's request, which will allow them to move forward. Again, the only 3 new positions of the budget, 2 of them I mentioned. The third is a building inspector, which actually putting it on as a fee-supported position is prospective. It's not necessarily something we will do July 1, but if and when the increase in the inspections workload rises to require it, then this budget recommends that we go back to the staffing level that we had in 2008 for that particular function. That's really all I have.
Okay. That's good. So I'll just make sure that we're clear, and there's no tax increase in this budget.
Correct.
Recommended. Fees, I think the only increases I saw in there were some of the Parks and Rec fees,
That's correct.
right? And basically user fees. And you addressed 9 of our top priorities, and I believe that this is the first time that I can remember, but Buddy, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Since you and I have been on or around council, this is the first time I ever remember actually funding a CIP.
First
in a
time I
budget.
remember.
So this is quite a win for us, because we used to just basically not fund that, and there's no use of the unappropriated fund balance, or very limited use.
It's for one-time things, consistent with your past practice. There's a school bus, for example.
But
and
not for
police car.
operating, not for normal operating costs.
Definitely not.
Maybe I should have put it that way. Okay, so, so basically, the best budget I can remember since I've been on the council for about 20 years. So, with that, I'll open the public hearing and ask for comments. Anybody in the audience would like to speak?
I think you're just first.
I'm Randy Trust Trail, 212 Beach Road. And I just wanted to comment on the proposed budget. It's my understanding, and I think I've pretty much made my concerns known to everybody in an email, that the city intends to borrow or issue debt for the track at the high school and the Messick Park, the Messick Beach Park. While I think that's a great idea, I think the city has more pressing needs than to take on another debt service. And if I heard you correctly, when we were just speaking in the pre-meeting, that the debt service really needs to fall off. So, and it's also stated in the budget narrative that staffing may not be adequate in public works, the mosquito department, and drainage and street repair, as well as talking about teacher compensation and firefighters and that type of thing. While I would love a beach at Messick Park, I think we have more pressing needs.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, and do we need to run through the first reading this evening, or do you want to just wait?
You can consider this first read.
Why don't
We don't usually do a vote, but
I'm good with delaying. I'm just asking. Well, what does council want to do? You want to go through it the first time and see if there's anything that city staff needs to reconsider by somebody's vote, or?
Probably keep it more open for the public if we did run through it, so everybody would know.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution approving the adoption of the proposed FY 2016 and 17 annual financial plan for the city of Poquoson, Virginia.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that we approve that motion, which basically is the oversight for the entire budget. Questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, Judy, please.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer. Aye. Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Vernal.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay. With that said, the next motion is an ordinance to lay a 415 levy on personal property. Basically, no tax on watercraft, $1.50 on privately owned camping trailers, motorhomes, $1.07 on vehicles without motive power. Is there a motion to approve that?
Move that we adopt an ordinance to lay 415 levy on all personal property, a 1/10,000th cent levy on all watercraft, $1.50 levy on all privately owned camping trailers and motor homes, and a $1.07 levy on all vehicles without motive power, used or designed to be used as manufactured homes in the city of Poquoson, Virginia, for the general operation of various departments of the city government.
Is there a second? Okay, second on that. Okay, go ahead.
This is the same as last time, just to reiterate what the mayor said. And talked with Mr. Wilson during the break. There's been an increase of 190 watercraft in Poquoson since last year. So our tax rate apparently finally is starting to, show a little bit of progress.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any other comments? Not, Judy, please.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Vernal.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer.
No.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 6-1.
Okay, next ordinance is to lay a $1.07 levy for all value on real estate in the city of Poquoson. Is there a motion on that?
Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance to lay a $1.07 levy for per hundred assessed value on all real estate in the city of Poquoson, Virginia, for the general operation of the various departments of the city government.
Second.
Motion made and seconded that we approve that ordinance. Questions or comments? Seeing none, Judy, please.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman. Councilman Bernal.
Aye.
Councilman Green. Councilman Ayer.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay. The next item is an ordinance to appropriate funds to the various governmental funds of the city of Poquoson. Is there a motion on that?
Mayor, I move that we adopt an ordinance to appropriate funds to the various government funds for the city of Poquoson, Virginia, for fiscal year 2016 and 17.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded that we approve that as well. Questions or comments? Seeing none, Judy, please.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman. Councilman Bernal.
Aye.
Councilman Green. And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, so again, the members of the audience, it's the first reading. Council will consider this item again at its next meeting, and there's still 10 days after that before we must pass a budget. But basically, that gives you a pretty strong indication of where council sits on this. Okay. Next item on the agenda is a resolution directing that public notice be given of council's intention to receive bids for an easement on city property, and this is for Virginia Natural Gas. Randy?
That's correct, sir. This is for a request from Virginia Natural, thank you. Kevin, you got me doing it. Natural gas, for a permanent gas line easement to serve the residents in that area. We were allowed to, under my authority, we can issue a temporary easement. This was to provide that service to a place that was having electric issues as a backup for them. And anyway, I have the authority to provide those kinds of things on a temporary basis, but only the city council may do so on a permanent basis. So this is fairly pro forma, but still important because it's a code requirement.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution of the council of the city of Poquoson, Virginia, directing that public notice be given of the council's intention to receive bids for an easement on city property.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions or comments?
So there's no change to anything, it's already there, the gas is in, there's no digging in Lawson Park or anything, just an approval. Okay, thanks.
Other questions or comments? Seeing none, Judy, please.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Bernal.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
We have to do the ordinance as well on this?
No, the ordinance will be adopted at the next meeting. That's a part of the exhibit of the resolution.
Okay, thank you. Well, normally you pin me down and you stop me from going forward, so today I thought I'd ask.
But right now you have to vote.
You got to vote on the last.
Oh, aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
All right. Next item is a resolution making an appointment to the Peninsula Alcohol Safety Action Program Policy Board.
Mayor, I move that we adopt a resolution, make an appointment to the Peninsula Alcohol Safety Action Program Policy Board by the inserting of the name of Sergeant Kelly A. Waddell.
Second.
Okay, and this is to take the place of Chuck Buffington, who was a long-standing member of this for the city of Poquoson, who passed away. We're going to miss Chuck, but thank you for that nomination. All right, so questions or comments on this? If not, Judy, please.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Bernal.
Aye.
Councilman Green.
Aye.
Councilman Ayer.
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford.
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Okay, comments of the city manager.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything this evening.
Bud?
Yeah, first I'd like to thank the city staff and the school board for their excellent work on their respective budgets. The city is fortunate to have such dedicated people working as hard as they do. And I'd like to encourage all the citizens to please write their congressman relative to increasing K through 12 funding for our schools. We're better this year, but we're still way behind in that area. And for all of those in the city who have interest in the aquaculture permitted area off the east end of our city, please be certain to write or email Mr. Dennis Stagg, who came here tonight, and we appreciate him being here tonight. And his address is Attention Dennis Stagg, VMRC 2600 Washington Avenue, 3rd floor, Newport News, Virginia 23607. And his email address is ben.stagg@mrc.virginia.gov. I think this is important for our city.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Crawford?
Yes, I agree. Thank you to everybody who's done great work, especially on the budget. This is a difficult thing, and it's nice to see this year was a little bit looking forward, looking up. Also, congratulations to Mr. Drummond. I really look forward to seeing this escape room. I have heard from my college student in Richmond that the one in, or his friends, the escape room in Richmond, they've had a good time there. And so this is a great team building activity for corporations. It's not just for kids having fun, but birthday parties. This can really be a draw, not just for young people. So I think this is going to be a great addition to the city, and I look forward to going in myself. So.
Great. Vice Mayor?
Yes, the Planning Commission had asked for volunteers to help rewrite the comprehensive plan. There were 22 people, good, interested citizens that volunteered for that. And because we used 12 people the last time, Planning decided to stick with that number and cut approximately 10 of these very concerned, dedicated citizens. I'd like to propose, if we can get a kind of consensus of council, to ask the Planning Commission to relook at this and possibly use all 22 of people. I think a good way to get good ideas is to get a bunch of ideas. And if we got good, eager, dedicated citizens wanting to participate, I think we should allow them to do so. So I'd just like to see if we could get a consensus of council.
So what I hear you asking is, because it was only 22, I mean, what if 122 came?
Okay.
You're okay in the future if they do the same?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm within reason.
No, I'm saying if it was 122, you'd understand what they did, but because it was only 22, you feel like
Yes.
they should all get to participate?
Yes.
Is that
now,
correct?
if it was 102, 82,
Yeah.
that
Right.
would be totally
unfathomable, basically unmanageable. Okay.
But because it's 22 and a difference in 12 and 20, well, that's nearly double. And still, if it's more than 5, it's kind of unwieldy anyway. And so I don't see much difference in 12 and 22.
Okay.
Speaking for a man that works
Does
for
anybody
7
have any
people, I agree.
serious,
I don't mind a consensus as long as we approach them with the idea that it's up to them to decide. There may be a reason that we don't know about. So I would not like to go at them and say, well, you will do this.
right?
I don't even think we have that.
We'll
authority.
ask them to reconsider.
So
Right.
basically, we're going to send a consensus of council down to them recommending that they do this, if at all possible.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I don't even think we have the authority to direct.
No.
I think we must politely ask.
Sometimes you can ask and,
Okay. All right.
you know what I mean.
So, all right.
And
Is
Mr.
there
Mayor-
anybody that has a serious reservation about that? Because I don't.
I don't have a reservation, but I talked with Kerry briefly about this afternoon, and we had a good conversation, and I'm in favor of this. However, I want it said out loud that the people who did the work on this initially and decided to go with 12 people did a very good job. They had a very fair process. It was not a discriminatory process, and it was double balanced and checked. And their selection process was a good process. People who did not get selected were not taken out for any other reason. The selection process was fair and above board, And I think it's better if you can include those other people. And so I just didn't want them to think that we thought what they did was incorrect or wrong, okay? I think what they did was fine, but there being only 22 people, I think that would be better.
That's fine.
If I may comment again, I should have led with that. It was a very fair, very well-run process.
Okay.
Just rather than
I have-
numbers be more.
What I'm hearing here is a consensus of council to send that message. If they can do that, then we'll do that. So we can report that down. I would appreciate it.
Yeah, take care of it in the morning, sir.
Okay. Councilman Vernal?
Well, I think everyone has noticed the flags on the street. They look very nice, and note that Kiwanis did put those up. And while I'm speaking of Kiwanis, May 15th is our annual pig roast, where we raise a significant amount of money that all goes back into the community. So everybody come by and have some barbecue.
May 15th.
May 15th.
Great. All right. Councilman Green?
Two things, Mr. Mayor, if I could. One is to address Randy's comment. We are not taking on any additional debt to do these. Our city is finally in a financial position that we can do some CIP projects, and like the mayor said, we have not done one in the last 20 years. So we're not taking on additional debt to do that. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Pay in cash.
No, ma'am. No additional debt. Just in case other people heard that, I just wanted to make that clear. The other thing is, tomorrow is the food bank at the old City Hall from 10 to 1. And the Susanna Wesley class from Tabernacle and the St. Timothy's Church will be hosting it. So if you qualify, please come out. We always have a very good crowd and a lot of good food.
Okay. Councilman Eric?
I just want to echo what everyone said. I think all great points. And Mr. Ben Stagg coming in tonight from VMRC, I had a chance to speak to him beforehand. And as you heard him say, if you were watching the meeting, that these folks on this commission are citizens that are basically appointed, I guess, by the governor. And not only do you want to write them in reference to this aquaculture that they're talking about, but what's happening to our local watermen in this community. And let it be known that they have so many regulations and stipulations on what these guys are doing and how they're making a living. And if you are a writer or a caller or an emailer, please feel free to do that as well. This community was founded by these hardworking men and women, and I think they should hear everything you're concerned about as far as what's going on in the community with VMRC.
Okay. Very good. I got just basically two comments. One is to inform council. Basically, city manager and I took a boat ride today. It was actually a very pleasant ride. We went to Cow Island. We took Congressman Whitman and Dan Ash. And Dan Ash is the Director of Fish and Wildlife.
The U.S. government.
For the U.S. government. So we finally got the type of person who can make decisions. The Wildlife Refuge Manager gave a good presentation, and we actually had two boats, so Randy didn't get to hear all the politics that were going on the other boat. But
We had a nice time on our boat.
but we think we made a compelling case for future citizen access to that wildlife refuge. And I think it was well received. I'm not saying that will occur. I'm just saying that we move the ball forward. And I believe that they understood the reasons why, and they were very impressed, and Mr. Ash was very impressed with the city of Poquoson and the way that we treat the environment. His comment to me was, I've never seen a city so engaged in the environment as the city of Poquoson. And, you know, we get a lot of people that tell us certain things that we don't, certainly care about something or, that. But he said it's incumbent through your processes, your procedures, the awards that you get, and that we are so far out there on TMDL. They all hear that. So what I would say is, what a great message that was, as he was telling his wildlife manager that, hey, maybe we should cut him a break.
Well, you missed one little negotiating factor that you could have used.
What was that?
You could have gotten the boat captain to leave him on Cow Island until he
I
came
hadn't thought
around
about
our way.
Hadn't thought about that.
That's why they brought
That'd
their
been the
own.
old way of doing it.
That's why they brought their own boat, though, I think, you know. So.
Next week.
Hey.
He might have gotten a ticket.
So the second thing is a comment on the budget, and it basically, it goes back to address what I think Councilman Green just addressed, and that is that contained within this budget, and basically in the future, you're going to hear about me going to New York, and I can tell you the last time I went to New York, it was overnight. It's basically we get in there, we go see Moody's, and we see S&P, and we get out of there. We tell our story, and we leave. Last time that got us a AAA bond rating because our financial, it's not because of our presence there, it's because of what this council does, what this staff does. Okay, we just tell the story that's a good story to tell. We're going back up there to readdress that, and basically what we're talking about doing to basically do some of this financing, issuing new debt. There's a fine line what you call issuing new debt and refinancing old debt, but I think I touched on that just a few minutes ago in the work session and basically said we're going to refinance our debt. We're not going to extend the term of that new debt, and we are going to save substantial money, about $500,000 over the term of that loan. This will be the second time that we've done this, okay? And what I would say is that opens up money to do some of the things that we have not been able to do for the city. So if that clarifies our position in any way, but what I would tell everybody here is best budget I've ever been a part of in 20 years, best budget. So Randy, a lot of that credit goes to you as our city manager, certainly to your staff who follow through on the policies that you do. And our citizens need to know that their money is well managed by the staff, and the accolades and the awards, as I just presented at the beginning of the meeting, kind of tell the story all in themselves. We are so proud of you. We're so proud of this staff for operating this city on what we give you to operate it on. Excellent job. Thank you. You took us through one of the worst economic times that I can remember. Other states are going bankrupt. Whole states are going bankrupt. Many cities are declaring bankruptcy, and here we are sitting with a AAA credit rating with no business base. Great, great job. Okay, so thank you for that, and understand that it's well recognized by this council. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Judy, I'll vote on this one.
Councilman Green? Aye. Councilman Bernal?
Aye.
Councilman Ayer? Aye. Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilwoman Crawford?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Freeman?
Aye.
And Mayor Hunt.
Aye. Thank you, and we are adjourned.
Keep you sweetened up.
Good night, Henry.